All Blacks and Wallabies, folks. It's a nail biter. 39-37. The All Blacks get it done at the death. You would be hard pressed to talk about this game without talking about the ref, because there was a few interesting calls in this one. But we'll go through some key events, some stats, and then I'm going to go off to bed because it's after 12 o'clock at night here. So, my dad kind of called it. He said, French referee, man. I don't know. I reckon there's going to be something dodgy going on. I don't mean dodgy, just mean controversy. Basically, it always seems to be a thing, doesn't it? Aussie did not start this game well. For a Thursday, nice to have a test match on, but the Aussie fans would have liked their team to kind of show up in the first 15 minutes because they were not there at all, were they? I mean, they missed the bloody kickoff, which is a proper schoolboy one. I think it was Holloway. They lifted him and he just did not catch the kickoff. All Blacks immediately with an attacking platform, maul advantage. I think third maul. They end up finally going over. All the backs get in there. Drive Taukei'aho over. So within 4 minutes, the All Blacks have got a try, and then a couple of minutes later, they've got a 3. So, I mean, Jordie missed one, Richie gets the next one. So it's 10 points after about as many minutes, maybe fewer than 10 minutes, like 7-8 minutes on the board. The All Blacks are just not playing anybody, seemingly. The Wallabies, as I said, not at the races in the opening period. The All Blacks are putting these little dinking kicks through. Harvey, who doesn't last long, he gets HIA'd pretty early on in the game. Him and Sam Cane clash heads. They both don't last the game. They don't even last the first half. But, I was liking what I was seeing from the All Blacks pretty early, to be honest. And the Wallabies, I don't know, man. They just seemed a bit lethargic early. Like, there was one point when the All Blacks, for the first time, were having to kind of clear from their own goal line. And Will Jordan has got all the time in the world to make his clearance kick. Now, his kick is a stinker. He doesn't get it hardly out of the 22 for a guy who's not being closed down at all. There's no Wallabies chaser putting pressure on him. He even has a chance to kind of take a couple more steps. It's a bizarre one. He should be kicking it closer to halfway, but he doesn't get any distance on it. But just the fact that there was nobody closing it down was unsettling. Like, what's wrong, Wallabies, man? You're at home. You're 10 points down. You guys need to show us some mettle. And I suppose they did from there. Like, I guess that bad kick kind of got them into some good field position. Like, we saw Valetini end up putting a grubber through for Marika, which on another day might have stayed in and could have been interesting. But, they were in the right field position, the Wallabies. Looked like they got a try through Kellaway. He blew that one. Andrew Kellaway was a nice tip pass from the Wallabies. Good attack and play. He's got a man outside him. He's probably beaten Rico to the line, and it looks like a try for all money. So he takes it to the line. He gets over the line, but Rico's getting an arm under there. Proper try save from Rico's getting quite good at that, isn't he? And I was shaking my head. Like, I thought he didn't make a terrible decision by not passing because it looked like he'd gone over fine, but he didn't. There was an inch between the ground and the ball. So, troubling when there was a man outside for the Wallabies. But, I mean, Rob Valetini gets them out of jail anyway. They score from pretty much their next chance. That was a little bit troubling. But, the Wallabies did get the momentum, thankfully for them, because the game, for the first 15 minutes, was just not the races. Like, they turned the scrum around. They were getting pinged early. Suddenly, it's the All Blacks getting pinged. It's the Wallabies going for the maul, getting the advantage, and Valetini going over. De Groot not able to stop him. And then, to make matters worse for the All Blacks, Papali'i, who's just come on for Kane, who's gone off, gets yellow carded for dragging the maul down. So, from being basically up 10-0 and not having much opposition, the Wallabies have scored 3 and then 7 to make it 10 points apiece. So, the Wallabies, I thought, when they got that 3, they hadn't been very good value for it. I thought 3 was a good return from them, and then they absolutely put it into that next gear, which is what you need to do. You need to build on that momentum, and they did it really well. So 10 points apiece. Can the Aussies punish the All Blacks having the yellow card? Big Pete Samu with a big carry. Marika smashing into Caleb Clark. That was pretty pleasing. But then Scotty Barrett with a line-out steal to kind of stifle their momentum. Although from their exiting kick, the All Blacks, they don't find touch. So it becomes a little bit of a comedy of errors for kind of the final 10 minutes. Like, the Aussies get another scrum penalty. They opt for touch again. There's 3 minutes left on the yellow card. Their line-out goes close. They have about 10 phases. there's a couple of times when you're thinking surely the Wallabies are going to score here, but the ball's just a little bit too slow, or they pick the wrong direction. Just bad decision making, bad execution, and the All Blacks win a turnover through Tupaia. They are able to exit. Speaking of Tupaia, he gets an injury later on, and I'm probably going to have to swear if you've got any kiddies around, so be aware, I'm probably going to have to swear about Darcy Swain. But anyway, Caleb Clark gets a line break from his own 22. Proper counter-attacking play from the All Blacks. Tom Wright finally puts a tackle on him because he's a hard guy to bring down, but then kind of gets in the way of the ball, so the All Blacks can't get quick ball. Tom Wright gets yellowed for that, which is kind of to be expected, Opposition teams got the momentum. They've not necessarily a try-scoring opportunity, but they're in the red zone, and he was just a little bit slow to get away. So yellow card for him. But then Darcy Swain, the way he just falls on Quinn Tupaia's leg, I don't usually swear, but what a piece of shit, honestly. That was just dirty. Well, I've watched it back a couple of times, and it's not pretty, but he's not trying to clean him out. He's just trying to fall on his leg. Like, he's just trying to do damage. He's a bit of a grub anyway. I don't mind Darcy Swain usually. Good maul defense and line out operator, but man, what a dog. What a grub. Like, that's horrendous. I hope he gets a ban as long as however Tupaia's out. Because there's no need for that. That's just stuff nah, but anyway, that means he gets yellow carded as well. I've never really heard this call of taking a guy out on the lower limb. It's not a call that I don't think I've ever seen that since starting this channel, like 2018. I don't think I've ever seen a call of going for the lower limbs, but that's what he gets pinged for. I'm not sure what the sanction is for that. Judging on the way Tupaia's leg bent, you would have said red, but it's yellow. So 10 minutes for him. Goodness knows how long for Tupaia. But he was in a bad way. So he's come on as a replacement as well. So the replacement has to be replaced. All Blacks backline has to get, reshuffled with Jordie coming into the midfield and Bodie slotting at fullback. So, I mean, that's good depth building for the All Blacks in terms of being able to shift pieces around. But still, as I said, what a grub. Not good. Not good stuff. So it's 15v13. Wallabies have got 2 yellow cards. Can the All Blacks go and score? No, they can't. Some good play from the Wallabies and some bad play from the All Blacks. Like Gordon with a try-saving tackle similar to Rico's one. His one's on Taukei'aho. Proper good stuff from him. Desperation tackle. And then the All Blacks are just knocking it on. They just can't get... At one point it's like a 3-on-1? Or a 4-on-1? And they just can't... Was it Ikitau that shut that one down? Anyway, it was seriously one Aussie defender and the All Blacks somehow managed to fluff it. So... Credit to the desperation scramble from the Wallabies, but the All Blacks' execution was bad. So, yeah, man, half-time, the possession and territory stuff is slightly split. The All Blacks edge the possession, the Wallabies edge the territory. Knock-ons is 5 apiece. The game ends with 7 apiece, so the first half was just a bit messier. And there was a lot of TMO stoppages and whatnot, so a bit slow, in terms of actual time. The New Zealand commentators mentioned, the length of time that half took was, I think, almost an hour. So I guess that's a little bit longer than normal. I'm not sure what the normal time is, but it felt like a bit longer. So, yeah. Slipper doesn't make it back onto the field for the second half. So you've got Kane gone in the first half. You've got Tupaia. You've got Harvey for the All Blacks. Slipper for the Wallabies. So proper walking wounded. And this 1+ guy's going off for yellow cards. Second half, though, 15v13, the All Blacks make no mistake this time. Finally, Taukei'aho. That one must have been must have been a 6-on-2. They didn't blow this one, thankfully. Taukei'aho just kind of kept the defenders not tackling him because they had to wait to see what he was going to do, and they waited too long. So he gets too close to the line, goes over in the traffic. So 17 points to 10. Rico gets a clean break later, and Hoskins puts a little grubber through, which was absolutely, I guess in hindsight, not the right option. He's got a beautiful passing game. He doesn't kick it that much for a number 8. Maybe he does kick it a lot for a number 8, but nah, man, you guys got numbers. Keep the ball in hand. Don't be kicking it through. That's a low percentage play. Kellaway swept that one clear. And then good news for the Aussies. They win a breakdown penalty through Foketi at the end of the double yellow card, so they get a 3-pointer out of it. and then the yellow cards are over. So the All Blacks only win the double yellow card by 4 points, which is pretty bad. All Blacks will be pretty unhappy with the way that ended. But yeah, I guess good news for the All Blacks is Jake Gordon gets a yellow card, so they get another chance with the man up. That one was for collapsing the maul, which on hindsight was a bit unlucky for Gordon, because it looks like he does go in to grab Scotty Barrett's leg to maybe mess with the maul, but then he just kind of pulls out of it. But then Scotty Barrett falls over anyway, so it looks like, I guess if you watched it once live, like the ref did, that he'd pulled it down, but I don't think he did. It seemed a bit of a harsh one, but anyway, he gets carded, and funnily enough, the one-man yellow card, the All Blacks are able to punish a lot more. Straight away, they get advantage. They go Smith, Jordie, Barrett, and then Richard Moronga goes over on 52 minutes, and then like a couple of minutes later, Bodie with the dink through for Will Jordan. He beats a couple of tacklers, and it looks like it's going to be a rout. It's 31-13. The All Blacks have scored 2 tries in about 3 minutes. I literally write rout, question mark. Like, are the All Blacks just going to run away with this one? It looked like it, for sure. Because, I mean, that's just what the All Blacks do, right? But it's the All Blacks who get a little bit more luck when Lomax tips up Fainga'a, and he doesn't get carded for it. So I thought that was a wee bit lucky. If we can talk a little bit more about the refereeing. Like, that's the one that you often see get carded. I guess the referee said he didn't put him beyond the horizontal, but man, a touch and go. If that had been a yellow card, I don't think anyone would have been surprised. But I guess if that was a bit unlucky for the Wallabies that they didn't get the fortune of a yellow, then they kind of got it back with their next try, because Foley takes the ball to the line, offloads to Kellaway, looked a wee bit forward. Just saying, like, I don't usually harp on about the decisions, but there was a lot of them that were worth a chat in this game anyway. So I guess that kind of evens out. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. The Wallabies get a try, 20-31. So still All Blacks, you'd think, but then Richie kicks it out on the full from the kickoff just to bring the Wallabies that bit closer. And credit to the Wallabies, man. They use that momentum and they get some pay from it. They end up getting a maul. They go wide. I think the wide pass was from Foley. And Kellaway runs a really nice angle to get 2 tries within about 6 minutes for them. 61 and 67. So suddenly, man, 27-31. Proper game on. What are the All Blacks going to do about this? They are going to get a settler. Sam Whitelock when they get the next penalty points to the sticks to make it a 7-point game. So at worst, the All Blacks are going to draw, right? Because there's only like 10 minutes to go. Kicks the penalty, Richie, so 34-27. But immediately, man, Pete Samu, who was one of the best Wallabies players on the pitch, for sure. Down the left wing, he beats Will Jordan. All ends up, plays a nice little 1-2 with Marika. And Foley with the wide conversion. The Iceman, jeez. 34-34. It's tied up with not much time to play. Like less than 10 minutes. Just over 5. And then, unbelievably, remember these guys were down, like what? 31 points to 13. They actually go in front with 3 minutes to go when they get a penalty. It's a pretty long one, and it's Nick White who smashes that one over. I think it was Rob Valetini and Fraser McReight who won a penalty at the breakdown. So 37-34, somehow, unbelievably, the Wallabies are back. And they're going to win this one. Surely. But then the All Blacks, if you want dramatic finishes, this is your game. The All Blacks get a penalty. Surely they're going to kick it. No, they don't. They want to go for the jugular. They opt for touch. They go for a maul. They end up getting turned over by Foketi. Surely that's going to be game over. No, because then Foley gets done for time wasting. And admittedly, the ref has spoken to the Wallabies guys about hurrying up before. And this time, but usually they never call this. Like I mentioned, the lower leg thing, you never see get called. I don't think I've ever seen that get called. Time wasting, you very, very rarely see get called. I think I've once seen a guy miss a chance to take a kick, a penalty, because he used the full allotment of his time. And the ref was like, nah, you've used all your time. But you virtually never see this happen. It's like seeing scrums get called being fed not straight. It just never happens. But Foley gets pinged for time wasting when they're on their own goal line. They're at home. Like, surely the ref it's easier just to let him take it. He's about to kick it. 99.9% of the times the refs don't call that, but he calls it. Unbelievable. So the All Blacks get a scrum. They get advantage because the Aussies are offside. And then Will Jordan ends up offloading it to Jordie. Barrett goes over for the game winner. Like, unbelievable. You just don't see that kind of stuff happen. So, yeah, both sides, I think, had chances to win this game, and both sides fluffed a few. The Wallabies and the All Blacks certainly left some points out there. And both sides, I think, had a few fortuitous or unlucky calls from refereeing calls. Like Swain only getting a yellow seems incredible. Taukei'aho not getting a yellow seems kind of... I think it's Lomax. I always get those two guys' names run the wrong way. Not getting yellow for the tip seems incredible. Foley's pass seemed forward. But, yeah, it's just seemingly one of those things, isn't it? Yeah, both sides seem to get away with a bit. Don't know. Maybe it's just too late. I need to rewatch the game. But stats-wise, run meters 301 to 395. The All Blacks edge that. Possession's pretty much even. The All Blacks edge the territory, but there's not much in it. Clean breaks is 6 to 3 to the All Blacks. Defenders beaten 20 to 18 to the All Blacks. So much of a muchness, but the clean breaks is double for the ABs. The tackling percentages are, as I looked them up, exactly the same. The Aussies had to make a few more tackles. Both sides are 85%, which is solid without being spectacular. Penalties conceded is 11 to 13, so the Aussies had a slightly better penalty count than the All Blacks. The All Blacks were pinged a couple more times. Like 3 yellow cards to the Wallabies. They did pretty well to not concede when they were 2 men down, but then they conceded a couple with 1 man down. Crazy stuff. Marika, 3 defenders beaten, 58 metres. Samu, 74 metres, 2 clean breaks and 4 defenders beaten. That guy was electric. Valetini, 14 from 15 tackles, like wins a turnover. Having a crazy good season, that guy. Clark, 146 metres, 3 clean breaks and 4 defenders beaten. Pretty electric. Scotty Barrett, 11 from 11 tackles, gets a line-out steal. But yeah, man, pretty crazy. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Like the Swain one, obviously. The All Blacks getting away with the tip. Gordon getting punished when it didn't seem like he'd actually brought that one down. So Tutu's decision to kick when he probably should have passed. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to digest. But anyway, it's time for me to go to bed. Hope you guys were all good. Let me know your thoughts on the game. And if you want rugby jerseys, check out Love Rugby. They got loads of them, and they got good specials on. So, yeah, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.